Have you ever had this happen? You're photographing a bird, everything looks good. The light is nice, the bird is sitting still, you press the shutter, and when you check the photo later, the branch behind the bird is sharp, but the bird isn't. Or your autofocus just hunts back and forth and refuses to lock on. If that's happening to you, it's probably not your camera. And it's definitely not just bad luck. There are a few very specific reasons autofocus struggles with birds, and once you understand them, your keeper rate goes way up. So in this video, I'm going to walk you through the real reasons your autofocus misses and how to fix each one. Let's start with one of the most common problems. A lot of people are simply using the wrong autofocus mode. Most cameras have two main options: single autofocus and continuous autofocus. Single autofocus locks focus once and then stays there. That's fine for landscapes or stationary subjects, but birds almost never stay perfectly still. Even perch birds are moving their heads, shifting their weight, or turning slightly. So if your camera locks focus once and the bird moves, the next shots can easily be soft. For bird photography, you almost always want continuous autofocus, so the camera keeps adjusting focus while the bird moves. If you've ever taken a burst where the first photo is sharp, but the rest are soft, this is often the reason. Another big reason autofocus struggles is low contrast. Your camera's autofocus system needs contrast and detail to lock onto. If you're photographing a bird that's mostly one tone, like a raven, crow, or even a very bright white bird, there isn't much for the camera to grab onto. The same thing can happen with smooth plumage or flat lighting. I actually had this happen to me last year while I was photographing bald eagles. The autofocus system would struggle whenever the eagle got near this rock. As you can see from the photo, the dark bald eagle and even the whites on its feathers kind of blend in with the rock. The darker parts of the rock look like dark feathers, and the bright reflections look like white feathers, making it difficult for the camera. I have another example with this video of harlequin ducks in a similar situation. The harlequin ducks were in the shade, making their plumage look extra dark, and the rock behind them was also super dark. The camera was hunting in and out of focus because of the similar tones. An easy fix for this is, instead of aiming your focus point at the middle of the bird, try aiming at the edge of the bird. Where the bird meets the background, that's usually a stronger contrast line that gives the camera something clearer to lock onto. Lighting also plays a huge role. Autofocus systems love bright light. When you're shooting at sunrise, sunset, or even a cloudy day, autofocus can become slower and less accurate. This is especially noticeable in forests or darker environments. I had this exact situation when I went out looking for owls the other evening. I was just about to leave, and of course, the owls came out right when I was about to leave. I swear all animals just love to do that. I tried capturing some photos, but my autofocus was struggling hard. There was almost no light, my ISO was very high, I was shooting on a tripod with a slow shutter speed, and it was still difficult. I ended up using manual focus. I took a video to show how manual focusing can really help in this situation. If you're still struggling, try focusing on brighter parts of the bird, like the face or eye, or slightly changing your shooting angle to improve contrast. That's what I ended up doing with the owl. I had to move around quite a bit to kind of find a really good spot. It still wasn't great. It's a challenge. But sometimes even a small change in position can make a big difference. Another thing that trips people up is using the wrong autofocus area. If you're using single point autofocus, it's great for precision control, especially perch birds or birds on branches. But if it's moving, it can be hard to keep that single point perfectly on the subject. In those situations, using a slightly expanded focus area or a small zone can help the camera stay locked on. On the other hand, if you're using a large zone or full tracking in a busy scene, the camera may grab the background instead of the bird. So there's always a balance depending on the situation. Now here's something that happens all the time. You put the focus point on the bird, but the camera grabs the background instead. Drives me nuts. This usually happens when the background has more contrast or when the bird is small in the frame. If your autofocus gets stuck on the background, A helpful trick is to briefly focus on something near the same distance as the bird. For example, a branch, the ground, or something close to the subject. Once the focus is close, move the focus point back to the bird. Your camera will usually lock on much faster. There's also something else that can throw autofocus off: shooting towards the sun. If bright sunlight is hitting your lens, it can reduce contrast and confuse the autofocus system. You might notice focus hunting or slower acquisition. I had this happen when I was photographing harlequin ducks at sunrise. My autofocus system didn't struggle too much, but there were moments where it did get confused. I just adjusted my position slightly, and it helped. Sometimes just moving a few feet to the side is enough to fix it. Even a small change in the angle can make a big difference. Now this next technique is different. Instead of fixing autofocus after it struggles, this one helps you avoid the problem completely. It's called pre-focusing. This is where you focus ahead of time on the area where you expect the bird to be. For example, a perch, a branch, or a spot where the birds keep landing. When the bird arrives, your camera is already close to the correct focus distance, so it locks on much faster. This works especially well for birds in flight or predictable behavior. Back to the bald eagle example, when I was shooting those bald eagles, I would focus on the fish that are in the water. When I saw one of the dead fish rise to the surface, I would focus on the fish because I knew eventually one of the eagles was going to come and get the fish. So I would pre-focus on the fish and then look around, see an eagle coming in for the dive, and already be halfway there. And my camera would already be slightly focused in the right area, making taking the shot and getting it in focus a lot easier. Another thing that affects autofocus is distance. If the bird is very small in the frame, your autofocus has less detail to work with. This makes it harder for the camera to lock accurately. I've had this happen with hummingbirds when I try to photograph them in a garden setting. A tiny bird with lots of flowers and branches around is a tough mix. This is why getting closer or filling more of the frame often improves focus performance dramatically. And one last thing to keep in mind. Sometimes it's not your autofocus at all. If your shutter speed is too slow, motion blur can make a photo look soft even if focus was correct. For birds, especially birds in flight, you usually want a fast shutter speed to freeze movement. I actually have a whole video with tons of tips on birds in flight right up here. Check it out. That's all I got for you folks. If you want more tips, make sure to grab my bird photography settings cheat sheet. It's free and there's a link down in the description below. Like and subscribe and I'll see you in the next video.